Good morning and happy Sunday. It's September 26th, 2021. It's your girl, Nyabang Diang, the host of Be Swig Now. And today's topic is going to be why I think you should go to a community college versus a regular college the first time around. And the reason why I say that, because a lot of us are not really ready for a regular college. And when I say that, regular college is really a lot. It's demanding, it's demanding. And right off the gate, a lot of us are leaving our homes at 17, 18, and we've never left our mom and dad's houses all of a sudden. So now we have all this freedom, and we're not sure exactly what to do with that freedom. And I am firsthand experiencing this because I had a lot of time in my hand, and I just got annihilated in college. I got really hammered. So with that being said, I had a good time. If you asked me how St. Mary was and how I did academically, I can tell you the vodka smelled really great. But I can tell you what I learned that day because, again, like I said, I literally would be annihilated the whole time. And it was when I went to St. Mary's, it was a private institution, so financially it was a lot more. And all these kids, had a lot more than I did. And all these kids, had less problems than I did. And I mean, that's besides the point. I could have still applied myself a lot more differently. I just chose to go a different route. And then when I went to St. Mary's, I actually went on a basketball scholarship. So, oh yeah, that's a good thing too. So they don't really tell you in college that most of the time you spend with the kids that you actually play sports with. You don't really spend time with other kids. I mean, I literally saw these girls day in, day out. I was disgusted. I was sick of them. And funny thing is I've actually seen a lot of these people, some of these girls, randomly, sporadically around Minnesota. And I'm like, oh, that's great. Oh my God, awkward. But it's like a good thing because it's like we went through a little bit of experience together. But I mean, a lot of them, stuck through and still finished and went on and did what they did through St. Mary's. I left after freshman year because obviously, like I said earlier in episode 1 about life planning, I flunked college. So when I flunked St. Mary's, I had this big bill. I had a huge bill. It was $4,000 to be exact. And I could not go back to school unless I had it finished. Unless I paid that off, basically. And so what happened is that I flunked freshman year St. Mary's, and I was in debt for $32,000. I had $4,000 hanging over my head, and I basically was stuck. I could not continue unless I paid that bill down, basically. And so what I did is that I went back home to mom and dad. I rebelled. I was like, yeah, awesome. I hate college, but I love college. But I actually hated college low-key because it wasn't even low-key. I was high-key not a fan of college because I just felt like I was forcing myself to do things I didn't want to do. I wanted to I was doing a business degree, I think, at that time at St. Mary's, and I did not like it. And so my parents were like, oh yeah, you're going to be like a doctor or a lawyer. It's like, oh my goodness. But although my parents had these, dreams and hopes for me, what I wanted to become and all that good stuff as a doctor or a lawyer, I had a huge bill over my head. And so in order for me to continue my educational journey at that time, like I said, I moved back home, and then I had to pay off that $4,000 I owed St. Mary's because I literally wasted my time, and I wasted my parents' time. But most importantly, I wasted a lot of money because I didn't know what the hell I wanted to do, and I really didn't want to be there. And it was more so my parents wanted me to go to this institution, not me wanting to go to this awesome institution in Minnesota. And so with that being said, I had that bill to swallow. So I got a job as a CNA. I worked as a nursing assistant. And I busted my butt. I kicked some ass, obviously, and I paid off that $5,000 plus interest. So it was $5,000 in total I had to pay off. And then I decided to chomp at education again. And this time I went to a community college, and it was a lot more, cheaper, but it was also in the middle of nowhere. And so, it was interesting, but it was also more rewarding because I didn't have a bill over my head, and this time I kind of was ready to go back to school. So I wasn't trying to waste my time nor my parents' time, but most importantly, I downsized institutions. I went from a private institution to a community college. So my, financial aid helped out a little bit to where I didn't have to do a lot out of my own pocket. And that was the blessing part of it because financially it did help too with a private institution, but not as much as a community college. But I was able to not only go from bigger class sizes to smaller class sizes. I was able to have one-on-one attentions with my professors. I wasn't annihilated 24/7, and I didn't feel overwhelmed. And it was a smaller setting, which felt a lot more comfortable for me specifically, and I liked that. And I think that a lot of us forget that when you leave your home, you don't want to leave, in a rush. And a lot of us are like, I want to get out of here by 17, 18, and then we get out there, and a lot of kids can't withstand the real world, and college is the real world. And you are a young adult. You're forced to basically budget what you eat. You're forced to, go to bed at a certain time. You're forced to basically take care of yourself in a sense. Mom and dad are not there no more, and a lot of us didn't have that. And I was always used to have my mom and dad. So when I had to cut that cord and go to St. Mary's, I was alone. I felt like I was alone because I had other outside factors that were affecting me as well. But I also had responsibilities, to myself, and I wasn't taking care of those responsibilities. I felt very overwhelmed. And then I also didn't utilize my resources, and I think that's the biggest thing that I can give anybody. No matter what kind of institution you go to, definitely utilize your resources. And for me, like I said before, going to community college, I was able to reach out to my professors, to my counselors, to my advisors, to anybody. I had a lot more that I can reach to. It was a smaller setting, so I felt more at home. They were able to direct me, they were able to help me, and they were able to spend time, and so, but most importantly for me, financially, knowing where my family background comes from, and myself as well too, understand that financially, we are lapsing here and there. I had to understand that, and then realize that if I really want to continue going to college, I have to take it seriously, because why am I wasting their time? And then most importantly, why am I wasting time? But again, why am I wasting thousands of dollars? And that's what a lot of us do, because we think we want to go to college, but maybe college isn't your thing, and maybe a 4-year institution specifically isn't your thing, but maybe a 2-year institution is your thing. That doesn't make you any less than anybody else. And education is an education regardless of how you get that education. It's an education equivalent in all levels. You can still be a Harvard grad and still not be able to apply that. You can be a community college grad and overtop a Harvard grad and apply that. It's how you take what you learn and how you go about that. But more importantly, it's how you take the experience. And for me, my advice to a lot of kids, I loved college the second time around. Because this time, I wasn't forcing it. I wasn't doing it because mom and dad want me to do it. I wasn't doing it because my friends are all going to college. I was doing it now because I want to go. And so, like I said in episode 1, I made a plan. I went from a community college and then to a 4-year college. Not only was I a lot more developed, okay, I was a lot more better off than a lot of my classmates in many areas, because I took the time and the effort and I utilized that at the community college setting. I took in the resources, what they offered me, the value, what was valuable. I took it in and I ran with it, And so for anyone struggling to figure out if they want to go to college, you don't have to go to college. Sit and ask yourself, make a plan and ask yourself, what do you want to be? A lot of things do not require a degree. It's great. I love that I have my degree, but in all honesty, I do other things besides what I went to school for, basically, in a sense. So it looks good on paper, but can you take that knowledge and actually apply it? But also, do you want to waste your time and your skills in a classroom when you can be out and about doing things? There's ways to go about that. But the reason why I'm giving this episode is because a lot of people need direction in life, in a sense of, where do I go next? And there is no left or right sometimes. It's more so just you can stand still, be still for a second, and it's okay to look within your backyard. It's okay to take that step and go to a 2-year institution and then go on, because again, it gives you that nurturing, that growing environment that you probably are lacking. So I encourage a lot of young folks that do not understand exactly what they want to do to go to a community college, get your electives, and then go forth afterwards. Utilize all the opportunities the schools give you, okay? Take up all the clubs and resources, and that's what I did. I utilized all that they gave me, and I went forth, and I was able to not only excel academically, but I was also able to excel outside of that, and I was able to meet outside force connections that led me on to other things and so on. So in this episode, I encourage you to do the research and see where you want to go. But do not be ashamed if you go to a community college. Do not feel less than anybody, because again, you are not less. And education, no matter where you get it, it's equivalent. Doesn't matter where you go. Till next time, this is your girl, Nyabang Diang, the host of B-Swig. I'll see you guys on Monday. Have a nice morning.